Hi everyone, Sarah Joseph here. I am just going live on Facebook and hopefully it's working. I'm just figuring it out here, so just give me a moment to get myself settled and find the stream on Facebook while I'm doing this through Zoom so that I can hopefully see your comments. So if you are joining me live on Facebook, please raise your hand. Give me the raised hand emoji in the comments below. Say hi or something. Let me see what's happening. And if you are catching the replay, then type replay into the comments below. I cannot seem to figure out how to see the comments, so I'm just going to use my phone here and see if I can figure that out. And anyways, it'll give you a couple minutes to get in here and joining me, and it will give other people a few minutes to join us. Hi Amanda, thanks for joining me. I'm going to see if this will work. I might need to enlist somebody to be my buddy. Help me with this. Help me figure out how to see comments on Facebook while I'm on Zoom. I don't know. I thought that I'd use Zoom to do this in case I wanted to show a slide or a graphic or something, then that would make it easier, but I don't know if that's really true. I'll play around. I'll get used to this live format soon. But for now, thank you for joining me and welcome to my very first Talk to Me Tuesday. For those of you who don't know, I'm Sarah Joseph. I empower parents, couples, and professionals with tools that build connection, increase joy, and create ease while strengthening relationships. So tonight is our first Talk to Me Tuesday, and I came up with this idea to have a consistent night to come on and jump on live to build community and to basically just get to know each other, right? An opportunity for you to ask questions and me to answer them, for us to chat about parenting and essential oils together, just an opportunity to connect, really. So the idea is that I'm here to answer your questions, share some of my knowledge, whether that be about parenting, essential oils, relationships, connection, all the good stuff. And I want you to send me questions. So if you can send me them in advance, that helps me prepare a topic for the evening. But this Talk to Me Tuesday series is really about you and what you want. So I want you guys to direct it for me. So tell me what topics you want me to cover. Tell me what, anyways, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. I can't do this, guys. How do I do this? How do I stop the noise but get to see the comments? I can't figure it out. So yeah, I want you guys to tell me what you want to hear me talk about, what you want, what questions you have, what topics you have. So you can email them to me, you can send them to me via Facebook Messenger, or you can just comment below on this live stream and I'll try to answer them. So I'm seeing the comments now. Thank you. I think I got my phone figured out. Thanks for for holding in there with me. And I see that Denise is here, and I see that Lou is here, and Joy and Amanda. Thank you so much for joining me. So tonight I had a couple people ask me to talk about chores, and I had somebody ask me to talk about meltdowns, and I did start a poll somewhere. I don't know if you can see it, if that worked or not, but I thought that maybe we would start with talking about chores and connection and see where we go from there. So again, join in the conversation, lots of comments below, say hi, invite your friends, send me your questions, and we'll keep going. Okay, so I wanted to talk about chores. Raise your hand if you have a problem getting your children to do chores? Raise your hand. Let me know below. If you do, you are not alone. It seems to be a pretty natural, normal argument in the house. You know, chores aren't always the top priority for our children, whether they're little itty bitty children. Those ones usually want to help more, right? Your 2 and 3-year-olds who want to play with all the cleaning stuff because they think it's fun and it's a game. And as they get a little bit older, it gets harder and harder to encourage them. Lou says that her kids will do some, others it's like pulling teeth. I hear ya. So some of the things that I've found helpful is to, first of all, I want to say that chores are important, right? Not only do they help us learn how to do the things that we need to do in order to live in a house, right? So, it's an opportunity to teach our kids how to do the laundry, how to wash a dish properly, how to clean a bathroom properly, right? How to sweep a floor or clean up a mess. And so chores are important for teaching life skills, but they also give kids an opportunity to see how capable they are, so it can help build confidence and to contribute to the household. So to build that sense of importance and connection, which it's essential to our self-worth and our self-value, how we see our self-concepts, how we see ourselves. If we think about what's really important to make us feel good, it's connection and it's feeling significant, right? So feeling like we make a difference in other people's lives, that if we weren't here, somebody would miss us. And chores or contribution really do give us the opportunity to feel that way, right? We get to feel like we're contributing to the household and like we're important, and like if we weren't here, somebody in our family would miss us because our job isn't getting done, right? And so chores can be a great way to help kids feel connected to the family. And so it's funny how this cycle works, but contribution helps us feel connected, and connection helps us want to contribute more, right? So just think about volunteering, for instance. So when you volunteer, right, you're going in because you want to help, and then it feels really good, and you often meet other people who are like you, who want to also help. And so you start feeling connected to them, and you feel important, like you're doing something of worth, right? And that often makes you feel like you should do more, or you want to do more, because it feels good inside, right? And it makes you feel good about yourself. So that's what chores can do for kids. And it can really help parents too, because chores not only, take some of the weight off our shoulders, so we don't have to do everything, but it can really help with other dynamics in our relationship if we do it right? If it's not forced and always turning into a battle, then it can help with the other areas of our relationship. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Sarah Joseph, and we're talking tonight on our Talk to Me Tuesday about chores and contributing around the house. One of the things that I often talk to parents about is when we're starting to help kids get involved in contributing, is to make sure that we take time to train them on how to do those chores properly. So of course, it feels like we were born knowing how to clean the house because we've been doing it for so long when we become parents. And the kids are finally at an age where they can start contributing. But the truth is that it took time to perfect the ways that we do things. And it's important that we recognize that kids don't automatically know how to clean a dish or how to clean the bathroom or even how to clean up their room or put away their toys without just by watching us do it, right? Without being helped and trained to do it. So think about this as on the job training, right? If you had a new employee come into your work, you wouldn't just say, okay, this is your job, go ahead and do it, right? You would give them a breakdown. You would give them, maybe they would shadow you for a day, and then the next day they would try doing some of the work, but you would be there to help them and answer questions, or you might do stuff together. And then after that, you might shadow them to make sure that they're doing it correctly. And then you would let them go, right? And off on their own, but still come back and check in. And so for young kids, you might have to do side-by-side chores, cleaning their room with them for a year, right? Or maybe less, but depending on their child and how confident they are and how capable they are and the maturity level and their developmental level, it might take time to do that, right? We often skip the steps of training because we think that they should get it sooner. We think that it's obvious how to do it, or it seems like it's not that important, right? So think about how much time we spend training kids how to cross the street before we let them just cross the street on their own. We will, for years, walk up to a stop sign or a crosswalk and say, okay, now stop. Let's look both ways before we cross the street. Are there any cars coming? Oh, I see a car. Let's make sure we get his eye contact before we cross the street. Oh, okay, he sees us. And now we can walk across the street. We're going to walk. We're not going to run, right? How many times have you done that in your life? We do that for years with kids because it's important, because it could mean the difference between life and death, right? But when it comes to training them to do household chores, we often just rush through it because it isn't life or death, right? It seems like it's not that important, or it shouldn't take as much training. But the truth of the matter is it does take a lot of training. And so working alongside your kids to make sure that they really understand the details, right? The little pieces of cleaning a toilet or of vacuuming or sweeping, right? Also, we have to remember that they have different dexterity. So as they're growing, their motor functions are changing. So what they weren't able to do at 3 or 4, they might be able to do at 8 or 10, right? And so we might have to step up the training or change the different levels of expectations as we go. So again, it's not a quick fix, right? However, getting them to participate isn't just about showing them how to do something, but it's getting them to want to do it, right? We all know that we resist when we're told what to do. Yes? Nobody likes to be bossed around, kids included. And one of the things that I hear from kids all the time when I'm in counseling sessions with them is that they often complain that they are told what to do constantly, all day long. Everybody's telling me what to do. So if we can, in some way, use our language or how we set up chores to get their buy-in, to get them feeling like they are participating in the decision making around how chores get done, who does them, when we do them, then we're much more likely to have buy-in when it comes to actually doing the chores. They're much more likely to participate without as much resistance. However, I do want to point out that resistance is normal, right? Nobody likes doing chores. You don't like cleaning the bathroom, please, right? Tell me, it's true, you don't. So your kid's not going to like to do it either. So just accept the fact that there's going to be some complaining, right? There's going to be some complaining, and that's okay, because I complain about not wanting to do the laundry. Look how much laundry there is. Ugh, laundry sucks, right? We all complain about doing chores. So allow your kids to complain and empathize with them. I know this is hard. It sucks, right? I don't want to be inside on a sunny day cleaning the toilet either. And then just maybe you could say after you've empathized, if we work together, maybe we can turn on some music and work fast together and get it done so we can go enjoy the sun, right? But remember to empathize. Don't jump to the shutting down their complaining or shutting down or trying to fix it, right? Just let them have that feeling. It's okay to not want to do something, and they still have to do it. So what else? We've been talking about chores. If you're just joining us, we're talking about chores, and we talked about how chores are important for adults and they're important for kids, how contribution leads to connection and connection leads to contribution, so we can get more participation, how if we can get kids involved in choosing what chores are being done, and when they're doing them, that we're more likely to get cooperation. So one of the ways that you can do this is to maybe set a time to talk about chores, sit down, make a list of all the things that could be done by kids. And in our house, we started a little chore jar. So and this was the kids' idea. So we wrote down the stuff that they could do, the different chores. So like sweeping the floor or cleaning up the front entryway, doing the bathroom. And we wrote them down on a piece of paper and we cut them up and we folded them up and we put them in a jar. So now every day they get to pick a chore from the jar, and that's the chore that they have to do that day. And so far it's working well. They like it. It feels a bit like a game for them, and they're not stuck doing the same thing every day. Now we have a chore that they do quite often, emptying the dishwasher. And because it's the thing that we ask them to do almost daily, we get some resistance. And again, I think it's simply just boredom, right? Kids get bored. And so when they're able to choose their chore and they get to do different things instead of the same thing every day, then it feels like we get less resistance. And so maybe you will too. So making a list, having that jar, letting people choose, switching weekly, ask your kids, how are we going to get these done together? And let them come up with some ideas, right? Because maybe we don't have all the ideas as adults. And maybe if we listen to them, they might have some great ideas, and we might be able to create something with them that works for them. Okay. So let me just see these comments here and see if we have anything. We have Lou saying that her teen will do chores, especially when she talks about being part of the family and needing to contribute, but often with a scowl and on his own time. And that's exactly what I'm talking about, especially with teens, right? Chores are not always their priority. And so when we're thinking about talking about chores and getting them to do chores, we definitely want to get their buy-in, right? So up front, talking about how it's helping the whole household and how we can, what they can do, right? And when they can do it. And it's nice to have agreements, especially with teens, about when it's going to get done, so that there is a deadline, right? And then what was the other thing I wanted to tell you about that? And then allowing them to have their complaints about it, right? If he wants to do it with a scowl on his face, let him do it with a scowl on the face. I'm sure that I have put dishes away with a scowl on my face too, right? Just recognize that that's, that emotion is okay around that. I had one family friend who told me that her daughter was really upset about doing chores, and they talked about it, and she was like, "Mom, I'm still gonna do it, just let me be angry about doing it." And I'm like, yes, that's it, right? Sometimes we just need to let them feel the feels and know that they'll still get it done, right? Especially if we're not trying to shut down their feelings about it. We just empathize and say, yeah, I know, like this is interrupting your playtime where you had to get off your video game to clean the toilet. That really sucks. So maybe just try to be more empathetic around that and see how that works for you. When I found the other thing that has created some more cooperation around doing chores has been doing it together. So making a time of day, and often for us, it's right after dinner, where we can throw on some music and everybody has a job to do. So we're all working at the same time to make the house a better place to live, right? So somebody will clean the table, somebody will put away the dishes and clean up after the cook, and somebody will sweep the floor, and somebody will tidy the living room. And we've all got the music going and we're all kind of in the same area. So we feel like we're working like a team. So that helps a bit as well. And having that regular time where chores is done is really helpful because it becomes more of a habit then, right? So during the lockdown, when we had the kids at home from school, we would do our schoolwork, we would take a break, we would come back from break and do a chore before lunch. And that was working really well for us too, because again, it was just creating that habit, that consistency of this is when we do chores, this is when we work together to make the house tidier or more livable, right? And that's how we get it done. So I'd love to hear your tips for getting your children to cooperate with doing chores, to contribute more. If you have any, please drop them in the comments. What we've talked about so far is creating some fun ways to rotate jobs, like a job wheel that you could spin, or a job jar for fishing out the chore of the week or the chore of the day. Creating a time of day that you can do your chores in, turning on some music, making it fun, working together. We also talked about training, making sure that we take time to train the kids, maybe working with them for a while. And we talked about how contribution builds connection and how connection encourages contribution. And so how we can create this great cycle of getting kids to contribute more, or adults, really. So I wanted to throw some essential oils in here that you could consider using in order to help get your kids to cooperate and do some chores more. One of them is blue tansy, which can really assist with motivation and inspiration to participate. Another one is cypress, which can help us be more flexible when it comes to participating in chores or allowing others to do it their way, right? Moms, I'm looking at you. And then there's cedarwood, which helps us build that sense of social interest and community, so encouraging us to contribute and participate. So you could put these three oils together in a diffuser blend if you'd like, just a drop of each of them to help us get motivated and encourage us to do chores at chore time. Or you could use these oils topically, just individually or all together by applying them diluted. I would suggest the inner arms and the back of your neck. That could be helpful as well. So kids or parents could use those those oils diluted topically. Denise says that she finds that her teen responds well to having a choice of time to do the chore now or in an hour, in the next couple hours. And he also likes some warning. So tomorrow we need to. Those are great points, Denise. I love that. It's really helpful to again, have those agreements up front, right? So listen to the kids, find out what time of day works for them, brainstorm the list of things that you need to get done, who's gonna do what, when are we gonna do it, how are we gonna do it, and make an agreement. We're gonna do it and it's gonna get done by this time, right? The other thing I love to do is celebrate. When things work, celebrate, right? Make it fun. So you know, have some fun, have a little family cheer or a slogan or a motto or something that will bring you together to make it feel like, you know, we were in this together and we did this together and we got it done. Look at us. You know, you could have a little treat. You could, I don't know, dance around, have a kitchen dance party, whatever works for you. But remember that when we feel that sense of accomplishment, it's really helpful with our self-worth, right? And our value, our self-concept. And when other people appreciate us, then we're more likely to do it again, right? So make sure that if your kids are doing chores, if they're contributing around the house, that you're acknowledging their effort, right? Not the perfect thing that's happened at the end of them doing the chore, but the effort that they've put in. Thank them. Notice the effort, right? Say, thank you for doing this with me. This really helps me, takes a weight off my shoulders that you're able to contribute. Or you did the dishes today and I cleaned the kitchen and look how great it looks. Let's have some ice cream, right? Celebrate, say thank you, acknowledge the effort that they have put in. So again, if you're watching the replay, please type in replay below. If you're just catching on now, we're going to start doing these every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. And if you have a topic or a question that you'd like me to talk about, then please forward it to me. You can type it in the comments below here today. For next Tuesday, you can send me an email or send me a message on Facebook, and I'll add your topic to my list. These Talk to Me Tuesday lives are about you and answering your questions. So I really want you to be able to direct the conversation. Tonight we talked about contribution and chores, and I shared with you a few tips and some essential oils that could help with that. The essential oils again were blue tansy, cypress, and cedarwood. And if you'd like any more information about chores or about essential oils, please just leave me a comment below. I'd love to start a conversation with you and connect. So if you were late to join us today, please go back and watch the replay. And next week, we will be talking about whatever it is that you guys want to talk about. I did have somebody ask me about meltdowns, so I'll do that next week. Okay, so next Tuesday we'll be talking about meltdowns and how to handle an upset, like how to respond to an upset child or a melting down adult. These tools work for adults too. So next Tuesday, we'll be talking about meltdowns. And again, if you have any ideas for topics, please pop them in the comments or send me a message. I'd love to talk about that. And please invite your friends to come and watch next Tuesday or check out this replay. Okay, so it was lovely having you here. Thank you so much for joining me and dealing with my stumbling as I started this. I will get better at starting Facebook Lives, I swear. But I really appreciate you being here, and I hope you found tonight's information helpful. If you did, please make sure you give me a thumbs up, give me a little love, invite a friend. Okay. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much.